Welcome to Movement Maker TV. This is our first episode, and I'm so excited to bring this to you. This is the how and the why people start building movements. Today, we're going to talk about how we build movements together in the philanthropic space with Meagan Longley from the Austin Community Foundation. Welcome, Meagan.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining me.
What a treat.
I'd love to tell the story of how the Austin Community Foundation actually got started, and then we'll get into a little bit about the different movements that you're building from within your organization.
Sure. Well, the Community Foundation started in 1977, so over 40 years ago, and truly it grew out of the trust department of a bank. So we are at our core a charitable bank. But we realized that in 2019, that's not good enough anymore for an Austin that is changing rapidly. So we started looking at data in boom time Austin and realizing that success and that flourishing isn't benefiting everybody. And the data especially showed that women and Hispanic families are disproportionately living in poverty. And so we started our focus there.
So tell me a little more about that. I want to dig in. I mean, that's such a big movement that you're trying to build, helping Hispanic families live like everyone else in Austin. So it's a place that's equitable for all. So how do you break that down? What does that feel like as a volunteer and maybe as a beneficiary organization of ACF?
Sure. So the first thing that you mentioned is volunteers, and that is key to building any successful initiative or movement at the Austin Community Foundation, because we're a small team, we're 18 people, and to achieve the kind of goals that we have, we know we need leaders from the community. The economic future of Austin is deeply intertwined with the economic future of Hispanic families. And so they gave us the confidence and the leeway to do it. Then we went out to the community and said, who are the Hispanic the Hispanic leaders of our community that share that vision? And we recruited a steering committee of about 12 people that were really shared this goal. And so I would say recruiting those volunteers was key to success.
And so out of that, the Hispanic Impact Fund was born. How long ago was that?
Yeah, we launched officially spring 2017. So we're now spring 2019, we're 2 years in. We launched with over $500,000 already raised, which, you can have all the volunteer effort in the world, but if you don't have money, there's not a lot you can do. So we raised $500,000, and then we are close to our $1 million goal now. Last year, we awarded our first grants, $180,000 to secure the economic security and advancement of Hispanic Central Texans.
And so I recall from Board Source that a lot of times boards want to do this work around diversity and inclusion, and the intent is there, but it doesn't always show up in the behavior of the board because you're stuck in the way that you're doing business. And so your board is so phenomenal because you've moved from planning to action. So because of that intent and those changed behaviors, what are some of the outcomes that you're seeing, again, with your volunteers and the organizations that you serve?
So I think a key for us to working well with volunteers is a commitment to being staff-driven. So we're going to keep driving, but volunteer-led. So we look to those volunteers for strategic vision, for connections in the community, for really those big things that as staff we might not have access to, but we're going to keep driving and keep pushing and letting them lead us. So some outcomes that we've been looking for are dollars for sure. And then we have impact metrics around how many Latino kids are kindergarten ready, how many families are having their health needs met. And finally, kind of on the other end of the pre-K spectrum, are Latino families, do they have the job skills and the entrepreneurial opportunities that they need for their families to thrive?
It's amazing. And so, you've really shared the why and the what you've done. So tell us a little bit about a piece of a how, and because this is about how do we build movements and how do we build them together. And so I really would love for you to share the event that's come together because of this.
I'm so excited about our upcoming event. It's called Somos Austin. It's on May 2nd, and one of the things that keeps coming up in this work is unfortunately this assumption that the Hispanic community is monolithic, that there is one kind of Hispanic Austinite, and we know that that's not true. And so our goal through this event is to celebrate the richness and the diversity within the Hispanic community through the premiere of what we're calling the Latino monologues. So we have 7 local leaders that are going to share their story in a 2 to 3 minute monologue to really showcase the strength and the richness of the culture and then conclude. They have their individual stories, but at the end of the day, Somos Austin. We are Austin. All of us together share in the collective future of Austin.
So what's so cool about that for the people that are watching is all the things that you've mentioned are things that are replicable in other communities.
Absolutely.
Probably the toughest one is raising money. So real quick before we end, what are 3 ways that are effective in raising money in this particular space?
Sure. So I would say the first thing is peer-to-peer fundraising. So peers asking their peers. The second would be peer-to-peer fundraising. I could go on. But really, I think for us, it's been communicating to folks that this is not a Hispanic issue. This is a community issue, and that we all have a role to play in securing the economic future of Hispanic Central Texans if we care about Austin. It's about believing in Austin and believing that everyone in this community has the opportunity to share in the economic success that many are experiencing.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure.
And what I love most about everything that Meagan said is it's all of our responsibility, right? And so we each have to work hard to do our part and be leaders who will turn moments into movements, no matter where you are. So keep watching Movement Maker TV. The next segment, we're gonna talk to Jessica Bennett, who actually has done so much. She's been a fundraiser. She has organized events from the space of actually being the person that oversees the event. And she's an obsessive volunteer. So you'll love hearing from her. So thank you so much. Let's build movements together.